Hello dear students and viewers. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss William Blake's famous poem, The Tyger. William Blake was born in 1757. He was a poet, a printer and a printmaker. Blake was a very learned man. He had deep readings in the biblical scriptures and Western transcendental philosophy. All his life, Blake claimed that he had visions which formed the creative basis for his poetry. His poetry, he claimed, was prophetic. Though this increased his number of disbelievers and critics, yet Blake was undaunted. A committed Christian who was hostile to the Church of England and to all forms of organized religion, Blake was strongly influenced by the ideals and ambitions of the French and American revolutions. Among his major works are the Book of Thel, America, Europe, the Book of Urizen, the Book of Los, Milton, Jerusalem, Ghost of Abel, etc. Blake is chiefly known as a precursor of Romanticism. His genius is essentially lyrical. His poems are marked by essential lyrical qualities such as simplicity, sincerity, intensity of feeling, and music. Like the Romantic poets, he had deep love and sympathy for the underdogs of society. His poetry incorporates the Romantic characteristics such as imagination, nature worship, humanitarianism, liberty, mysticism, symbolism, and he embraced a new poetic diction that was strongly opposed to the neoclassical artificiality. Instead of writing his poems on pen and paper, Blake used a unique way of writing on metal tablets by engraving them in what was known as illuminated painting. For you, dear students and viewers, I have incorporated a small video to let you know what it was all about. This was Blake's engraving of the tiger, and I have also added one small video where you will hear the rendering of the poem. The Tiger is taken from Blake's Songs of Experience, which appeared in 1794. It is often said to be the most widely anthologized poem in the English language. The Songs of Experience represent the corruption of man by the immoral forces of society. They are clearly the products of disillusion. Between the publication of the Songs of Innocence and that of the Songs of Experience came the French Revolution, of which Blake was, like Wordsworth, for a time an enthusiastic supporter. However, coming back to the Tiger, we will find that it consists entirely of questions about the nature of God and His creations, particularly whether the same God that created vulnerable beings like the tiger could also have made the ferocious tiger. At the same time, however, the poem is an expression of wonder at the tiger and its fearsome power, and by extension it indicates a reverential awe at the power of both nature and God. Dear students, I would ask you to have a good look at the spelling of the word tiger which Blake uses for the poem. Instead of T-I-G-E-R, Blake uses the spelling T-Y-G-E-R. It is both the archaic spelling of the beast used at the time, as well as a deliberate ploy to give his concept of evil a note of the exotic. In fact, the mystery of tiger is heightened by the distorted spelling. An interesting fact which you would all like to know is that England did not have any tigers. So how might Blake have come to know about it? Possibly, Blake might have relied on the reports from the East, such as colonies of the East India Company, like our own country, India, for the source of this complex version of corrupt experience. In his poem, the tiger becomes a symbol for one of Christianity's most difficult questions. Why does God allow evil to exist in the scheme of things? Let us read the poem once. Tiger, tiger, burning bright, in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? And what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart? And when thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? What the hammer, what the chain? In what furnace was thy brain? What the anvil, what dread grasp dare its deadly terrors clasp? When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamp make thee? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? As you might have noticed, dear students and viewers, this poem consists of 6 stanzas of 4 lines each. The first and the last stanzas are identical, except the word could becomes dare in the second iteration in the last section. Blake makes use of brilliant and evocative imagery and figures of speech such as alliteration, as in the words burning bright, frame thy fearful symmetry, etc. Epizeuxis as in tiger, tiger, anaphora as in the repetitive questioning, what the hammer, what the chain, to name a few, along with deep symbolism, particularly of the tiger, the fire, the forest, the factory or the foundry, stars, spears, etc. The meter of the poem is regular and rhythmic. Its hammering beat is suggestive of the smithy that is the poet's central image. Let us now look at the poem. The tiger lacks narrative movement. That is to say, the first stanza initiates the central question, which in a way does not really move too forward except in thought. The central question, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? Here, the direct address to the creature, as in the lamp, becomes most obvious, but certainly the animal cannot provide a satisfactory answer. So the inquisitive soul continues its interrogations. The second stanza questions the tiger about where he was created. The third stanza inquires about how the Creator formed him and hints at the factory or the foundry where the divine artisan, like Hephaestus, went about his work. The fourth stanza asks what tools were used. In the fifth stanza, Blake wonders how the Creator reacted to the tiger and the response of others to the gigantic creation. Finally, the sixth stanza reiterates the central question, but with a difference. Rather than merely question who or what could create the tiger, the speaker wonders who dares, thereby emphasizing the humongous power of the Almighty. The Songs of Experience were written as a contrary to the Songs of Innocence, a central tenet in Blake's philosophy and primary theme in his work. Blake believed that to achieve truth, one must see the contraries in innocence and experience. For Blake, experience is not the face of evil, but just another facet of that energy which created the universe. In The Fairy Queen, Edmund Spenser writes, "Wrath is fire." Milton too spoke of flames, the sign of wrath awaked. In using the symbolism of the fire, Blake also packs in a lot of energy and intends to suggest that the great purpose of wrath is to consume error, to kill those stubborn beliefs which cannot be removed by the tame horses of instruction. Blake uses the word stars to symbolize the angels. This use is biblical as well, for in the book of Job in the Bible we find, "When the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted with joy." Blake believed without contraries there is no progression. The opening question of the poem enacts what will be the single dramatic gesture of the poem, and each subsequent stanza elaborates on this conception. Let us now discuss the theme of the poem. The first theme I would love to discuss with you is the theme of evil, as Blake has represented it through his poem The Tiger. Everything about the tiger seems to embody fear, danger, and terror. And I feel that it is more so because of the supposed difference in spelling from the usual tiger, Tiger. In a series of questions, the speaker of The Tiger wonders whether this creature was really created by the same God who made the gentle, docile, and joyful creatures such as the lamb. Through the example of the tiger, the poem examines the existence of evil in the world, asking the same question in many ways. If God created everything and is all-powerful, why does evil exist? The tiger burns brightly and has a symmetry. And this is a quality which Blake often associates with beauty and purposeful intent on God's part. However, the symmetry, as we find in Blake's The Tiger, is also fearful. The poem questions God's intentions in making the tiger, even considering the possibility that it wasn't actually God who made the tiger. The images of the tiger are so compelling that for most purposes they explain themselves, and we have an immediate, overwhelming impression of an awful power lurking in the darkness of being and forcing on us questions which pierce to the heart of life. The tiger is a study in the problem of life, and the problem is how to synthesize innocence with experience. By giving the tiger the same kind of consideration as the lamb, the speaker suggests that without fear and danger, there could be no love and joy. Opposites or contraries run throughout Blake's work, such as innocence and experience, the city and nature, childhood and adulthood. And so, the tiger and the lamb can be seen as part of this self-same pattern. For God to fully express his divinity, he creates elements or beings that are beyond ordinary human comprehension. By referring to the fall of the angels, as in the lines, "When the stars threw down their spears," Blake hints at one of the most common epistemological dichotomies, predestination and free will, particularly during the revolt of the angels, as we find in Milton's Paradise Lost. The next theme which I would like to discuss is the theme of creativity. The tiger is specifically about how the nature of God's creation can be reconciled with the existence of contraries. It is also about creativity in a much broader sense. Everything about the creation of the tiger suggests tremendous effort, skill, artistry, and imagination on the creator's part, suggesting that these qualities are necessary to create anything as frighteningly beautiful as the tiger. Because, my dear students and viewers, you would all agree that the tiger, as represented by Blake, is indeed frighteningly beautiful. Without that complexity, the poem suggests, a work of art won't be fully honest and authentic. Blake's response to the Industrial Revolution and the rapid urbanization that revealed the dark and sinister of the human civilization find expression here in this poem as well as in poems such as London and The Sick Rose. Let us now have a look at the two poems, The Lamb and the Tiger. After publishing the two volumes separately, that is, the Songs of Innocence, to which the lamb belongs, and the Songs of Experience, to which the tiger belongs, Blake published a single volume titled Songs of Innocence and of Experience, showing the two contrary states of the human soul. It becomes clear, obviously, that these two poems exemplify the two contrary states of the human mind. Blake regarded childhood as a state of protected innocence rather than as a legacy of original sin, but not immune to the fallen world and its institutions. This dark, grim world sometimes impinges on childhood itself and comes to be known through experience. Experience is a state of being marked by the loss of childhood vitality, by fear and inhibition, by social and political corruption, and by the manifold oppression of church, state, and the ruling classes. The innocence of the lamb and the ferocity of the tiger combine to present an image of the Creator that is incomprehensible and can only evoke awe and wonder. Thank you, dear students and viewers. I hope you like my channel, and if you have any comments or suggestions, please feel free to get in touch. Thank you.